man, this issue of X-Force is out of sight. G. Willow Wilson's doing such a great job on it, and Jorge Molina's doing such a great job with the artwork. Oh, that must be Claire's signal watch. Well, it's after 3 o'clock, and I need to go ahead and to the store and do an episode. Okay then. I mean, really? A signal watch? I mean, my goodness, who does she think I am? Superman? Man, give me a break. Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. Coming to you from Clint's Comics here in Monroe, Louisiana. And folks, on a much lighter note, I suffered a week and a half ago, I suffered a personal tragedy. My grandmother, Catherine Turner, passed away. And in memory of her, I'm wearing this Comic Hero tee. It's a Superman themed one, but let me explain the whole significance of this. She was born in 1932. When Superman first came on the scene, when he made his debut at Action Comics #1 in the summer of 1938, she was 5, and she remembered that. And then on top of that, her favorite color was blue, so that also signifies the whole blue shirt. And on top of that, she loved planting roses. And I made a patch right there. There's her initials and the rose behind it. And family, if y'all are watching this, it's gonna be all right. We have to go on. That's what she would want us to do. Oh, and also, in the past few days, we've all been going through a whole bunch of rainstorms and floods all throughout Louisiana. Not just Northeast Louisiana, not just Northwest Louisiana, not just Central Louisiana, not just South Louisiana, not just Southeast Louisiana, not just Southwest Louisiana, all of Louisiana. And not just Louisiana, or other parts of the South. So I just hope that if you're watching this, my thoughts go out to anyone who was affected, whose houses were flooded. It's a sad situation when somebody becomes the victim of a natural disaster. But anyway, it's time to give away a free prize pack. Now, last week I asked which borough of New York did the Steve Rogers Captain America come from. This is one of those questions that I really didn't exactly think through, because there are actually two answers to this question, depending on which Steve Rogers you're talking about. If you're talking about in the comics, the correct answer is Manhattan. But if you're talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the correct answer is Brooklyn. So if you answered either Manhattan or Brooklyn, you answered correctly. All right, and 3 people answered correctly, and their names are in his bag, and hopefully I'm about to draw one of them. And so the winner of the free Comic Hero prize pack is Johnny Ringo. So congratulations, Johnny, you win yourself a free Comic Hero prize pack. All right, so here's the question for this week, and I actually did think through on this one. For the longest time, Bob Kane has been credited for being the sole creator of Batman. However, there was another person who actually assisted him with creating him, but wasn't acknowledged as the co-creator until the end of last year. Who is this person? Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a free drawing for a free Comic Hero prize pack. Now then, I gotta ask. Any questions? Oh, before I go on with the any question segment, I just gotta make mention. Now, usually whenever I do episodes over here, my back is turned to the back of the store. You want to know why I'm standing in front of the comics rack? Here's why. Claire didn't exactly have time to set things up throughout the week. So she's had tables of books. And if you're watching this, come on out and buy some. All right, now back to the Any Questions segment. I have 3 questions for this week, and the first question is from Chadwick Griffith from Shoedrick, Louisiana. He asked, how do you feel about graded comics? Well, Chad, graded comics to me are comics that cannot be read. And here's why. These books are in Superman condition, or at least they're supposed to be. And if you take them out of the plastic or everything and all that, it ain't worth zip. Okay, now I just described what graded comics are, but I didn't answer the question. So let me go ahead and answer the question right now. I have no opinion on it. All right. And I have 2 questions from the same person, and these 2 questions are from Johnny Ringo from West Monroe, Louisiana, who just won the free Comic Hero prize pack, by the way. Do you keep up with many non-DC Marvel books? If so, what are your favorites? Yeah, Johnny, I actually, believe it or not, I actually got myself to get out of the DC Marvel bubble that I've been in since I started reading books. Although, however, that's a fib. That is a complete fib. And here's why. Because when I was reading comics for about a year and a half, I used to read the very first issues of the series by the late great Michael Turner called Fathom. And his artwork was amazing. I mean, shut up, Dalek! I wasn't talking to you! Anyway, sorry folks, that was my phone. But, oh, you try to kill me! I know a doctor. I know a doctor. Don't make me call him. I will. But anyway, I did read Fathom, and then there was this other Speed Racer miniseries by Tommy Yoon that I read back in '99. So no, I didn't always read DC versus Marvel. That was a fib. But fast forward to now. I read the Back to the Future series from IDW, and let me tell you, the series is great. The first 3 issues pretty much talked about backstories of some of the things that we've seen in the movie, like how did Doc and Marty meet, or how did Doc's house burn down in the '60s, and what was he like when he went to college and all that. But I read Back to the Future, and I'm also reading the Faith miniseries from Valiant. Now, it's no secret to a lot of folks that I know that I like curvy women. Faith is a curvy woman, is a curvy comic book character who's also a superhero. So I figured, I'm gonna have fun reading this. So yes. And also, Johnny asked, I'm also curious if you only buy single issue comics, or if you also buy trade paperbacks, hardcovers, omnibuses, and or absolute editions. Well, Johnny, I only buy single books. The last time I bought a trade paperback was this miniseries. Well, not a miniseries, but it was a crossover event in Marvel called The Trial of Jean Grey. It crossed over from it went back and forth from All New X-Men to Guardians of the Galaxy. And there was this one issue of Guardians of the Galaxy that I could not find. And I mean, I looked here. I looked Books A Million. I looked at other comic book stores in North Louisiana. I even went online, and I could not find this issue of Guardians. So what I had to do was I had to buy the trade paperback, and that was, and I knew that was going, and that was the last resort, and I knew that I was going to have to take that resort. But I do have trade paperbacks. I mean, I have the I have World Without a Superman, The Return of Superman. this Justice League this Justice League miniseries. I think it was Gods and Monsters, or it was something else. I can't remember what it was. And then also have the Watchmen, the original series, the original Watchmen by Moore and Gibbons. Hopefully I won't ever have to buy a trade paperback again, but if I do, it'll be well worth it. Alright, that's it for any questions. And folks, if y'all have any questions for the Any Questions segment, contact info is down there. Alright, now last week we had our last segment of DC versus Marvel. This week we have a new segment, and in this segment, it's not just going to be DC versus Marvel. It could be any comic book character from any publication. And I'm going to kick things off with my very own. Representing DC, we have Captain Cold. And representing Marvel, we have Iceman. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call
the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today it's Captain Cold versus Iceman. To make this fight interesting, let's go with the New 52 version of Captain Cold. Captain Cold possesses metahuman ice powers, including the power to slow others with an inertia field. Iceman possesses the ability to freeze water vapors, thus generating ice and snow. He can also transform his body into solid ice, and possesses superhuman strength and durability in an ice form, and thermal vision. Who will win? You'd think this fight would end in a draw, but think again. Whenever Iceman generates ice to form his patent ice slides to form a frontal attack on Cold, the latter slows him down with the inertia field and destroys the ice slides, causing Iceman to fall. Then Cold generates an ice boulder and throws it at Iceman, but Iceman smashes it into bits with one punch. Both then refrain from using their powers and go tactical, but Iceman ends it by turning his hand to ice form and delivering a heart punch to Captain Cold. Iceman wins, and it concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the very first edition of the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. And if you have any fight requests, contact info is down there. Now remember folks, this is a brand new segment. It's not just DC versus Marvel. Again, it could be any character from any publication. But don't get dumb with it. I mean, don't have somebody like Veronica go up against Lois Lane, or Betty versus the Night Nurse. Don't do that. All right, it's time for Comically Speaking. So without further ado, let's talk comics. All right, what to talk about? Oh, yes. X-Men not Days of Future Past, X-Men Apocalypse. Man, I went back to 2014 with that one, my goodness. But anyway, X-Men Apocalypse is coming out in theaters in about a few months. I am so looking forward to it. And you know what, okay, I'm a guy, I'm single, so I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I'm really looking forward to Olivia Munn playing Psylocke. I think I speak for a lot of straight guys when I say that.
And a lot of straight women when you say that.
Claire Channel.
Leave us out.
Oh yes, yeah. I mean, men and women, whether you be straight or not, love Olivia Munn. We've loved her. We've loved her ever since her days on Attack of the Show. Oh, but and I think I've talked about this before. But the whole design for Apocalypse, he looks like Ivan Ooze from the Power Rangers movie from 20 years ago. I mean, my gosh, he looks nothing like Apocalypse. He looks like Ivan Ooze and Thanos got it on. Hey, they may be guys, but we can't. But they're aliens, so you don't know. They may be capable of asexual reproduction. Anything is possible. All right, and then another movie, Captain America: Civil War. Now I saw the trailer to it, and did anyone see Spider-Man? I sure did. Now a lot of folks are saying that there's some mixed reviews about this Tom Holland Spider-Man. That he looks absolutely nothing like the. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at a ringtone. But he looks absolutely nothing like the Tobey Maguire or the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. Shut up! It's Spider-Man! I'm just so glad that he's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You should be too. And not only that, there's also a Spider-Man movie coming out next year. And while I'm thinking about that, Zendaya has been casted to play in the Spider-Man movie. What her role is going to be, we don't know. I don't know what it is either. Do I think it's going to be Mary Jane? I don't know. Gwen Stacy? I don't know. Liz Allen? I don't know. I'm looking forward to it because finally, Spider-Man comes to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is something that we've all been hoping for, because Marvel has been pretty much a house divided since the beginning. Although, well, actually, it's been a house divided like for the past few years, really, because at first when Marvel started cranking out movies, you know, most of them were with 20th Century Fox. Like the first Marvel movie that came out was X-Men, and then Spider-Man came out. You know, Spider was with Columbia, you know, was with Sony and Columbia, and all that. This has got to stop. I mean, why can't all these characters just live under one roof? What's wrong with that? I don't understand. But anyway, it is what it is. That's it for Comically Speaking. Now then, let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
That's going on camera. Oh, all right, anyway. First off is Green Lantern number 50. Now, what's been going on in this book is this the new 52 version of Sonar has come, and he has decided he wanted to destroy Coast City. He almost kills Hal Jordan's nephew in the process. Oh, and not only that, but the Parallax from the original DC universe comes calling, and he wants to kill Hal Jordan. All right, next up is Invincible Iron Man number 7. In this book, this is the part 2 of the War Machine story arc, and yes, you're not seeing things, folks. That is Mary Jane Watson right next to Iron Man, and he's offered, after her club got burned down, he offered her a job over for Stark Industries, and I think she's going to take it. And not only that, a whole bunch of armor showing up, and Stark has absolutely nothing to do with it. All right, next up are 2 books of the same title. Let me put the rest of these down because it's kind of hard for me to hold 2 books at the same time and then hold a whole stack. All right, and these books are Uncanny Avengers number 6 and Uncanny Avengers number 7. Now this is the Unity Avengers squad, and they've made now in the past it consisted of, you know, Avengers and then X-Men, but now it's Avengers, X-Men, and Inhumans, with Synapse being the newest addition to the X-Men. Oh, and by the way, Cable is also a member of the Avengers. pretty good book. But oh, and also Dr. Voodoo, the Grizz guy from New Orleans is also a member. That's what I call Dr. Voodoo, y'all. No disrespect to the folks in New Orleans. I love New Orleans. Was down there about 3 months ago. Can't wait to go back. All right. Next up is The Mighty Thor, number 5. Now, what's going on in this book, and y'all are having way too much fun with it. We all having way too much fun with that. But anyway, what's going on in this book is Dr. Jane Foster is the current Thor. This doesn't really sit well with Odin, the Allfather. And so, therefore, he placed a bounty on her. And not only that, Loki, she ends up beating up Loki. All versions of him. Whether it be the original version of Loki, the current version of Loki, or the fan favorite female version of Loki. My favorite too. Alright, up next is Amazing Spider-Man number 9. Now in this book, he's having, Peter Parker is finally accepted the mantle of being CEO of Parker Industries. Something that he's the responsibility he's been having to take on, all thanks to Otto Octavius when he swapped minds with him. And what's been going on in this book is that Cloak and Dagger are now under the control of Mr. Negative, and Mr. Negative is trying to take over all of China, all of Tokyo, well, all of Shanghai, and it's getting ugly. Right up next is Detective Comics number 50. Now, in this book pretty much, it stars the Jim Gordon Batman, or the fake Batman as I like to call him, and it also and other members of the Gotham City Police Department, like Harvey Bullock, Renee Montoya, if you will, and also new commissioner Maggie Sawyer, who used to be the commissioner over in Metropolis, for the Metropolis Police Department. And it's a good book, and I can't wait to read it because Jim Gordon's been put through the ringer, y'all. Then up next is Action Comics number 50. Now what's been going on in this book is the Savage Dawn story arc that is in this book, Superman, Wonder Woman, and in Superman. And Clark does Superman does the unthinkable, folks. He gives himself kryptonite via chemotherapy. Now the reason he's done this is because most of his cells have been damaged ever since Vandal Savage stripped him of all his powers. Oh, by the way, we found out that the reason why he didn't have his powers is because Vandal Savage somehow, some way, stripped him of them without him even knowing. And so he ends up ingesting kryptonite, and all of a sudden he becomes just as powerful as he was before. But then he also finds out that it's because of the kryptonite. It's giving him powers, but at the same time, it's killing him. And at the end of Superman number 49, Metallo ends up getting killed by one of Vandal Savage's children. And so he says, "Here, take my heart." He's like, "No, you'll die." He's like, "Well, yeah, I know I'm gonna die, but it's gonna give you the chance to beat Vandal Savage before you die." He said, "All right," and that's how it ends. And this is the and this is a continuation of the Savage Dawn story arc. And then finally, Batman and Robin Eternal number 22. Now what's going on? Now I'm a little behind on this book because I've been trying. Well, it's getting to the point now where Claire is finally getting books in. Yes, sir. So I won't have to go to Second and Charles in Bossier City and Excalibur Comics in Shreveport and BC Comics in Bossier City. Although I love you guys, y'all are great. But I'm still a little behind. But what's been going on in this book? It has to do with this character that that Batman befriended, or should I say Bruce Wayne befriended years ago, called Mother. Alright, that's not a bought, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 7,123. Or rather, 7,223, excuse me. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and to my family, you know what, Mama Catherine would want us to go on. She wouldn't want us to, it's okay to mourn. Everyone mourns differently. It's okay to do that. But you can't feel like anything you do is not worth it. She would want us to go on. She would want us to live our lives to the fullest, just like she did. And you know, and I hope I might be saying that I've also said something that kind of I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep it together, folks, but I just miss my grandmother, you know. I was a belated birthday present from 1981. I mean, her birthday was November 1st, my birthday is November 2nd. But if you have family, reach out to them. You may be estranged from them. You may not have talked to them for a long time, but if you have family, if they're still living, don't be a stranger. All right. Once again, the Comic Hero prize pack question of the week is this. For many years, Bob Kane has been credited to be the sole creator of Batman. However, there was someone else, another creator who assisted him with creating Batman that never got credit until the end of last year. Who is that person? Everyone who answers correctly will be entered into a drawing for a free Comic Hero prize pack, and the drawing would take place in episode 103, which will be back here at Clint's Comics next week. Really had a lot of fun. I mean, this episode was energy filled. I mean, wouldn't y'all agree? But the family, I love y'all, and I know y'all are there for me, so I'll be there for you also. All right, I'm Victor Nunley. I'm the Comic Hero. We'll see you next week for episode 103 right back here at Clint's Comics. So till then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero.